The Weekly starts now.
The National Association of Home Builders Best in American Living Awards honors top-notch projects that serve as leaders for the current and future of housing design. With the Best in American Living Awards ceremony tomorrow, February 26th, I sat down with the 2020 judging chair, David OSullivan, president of OSullivan Architects, to discuss the key trends he noticed during the judging process. Can you give us a brief background on your company, OSullivan Architects?
We've been around over 20 years now. We're a small group of architects. We've been kind of 8 to 12 people. Pretty much serve the development community. We also have an interior design. We do a lot of bank fit outs, car dealerships. So we have a real mix of things. Being up in Boston area, there's not the big expanse of land that some people have throughout the country. So we do a lot of renovations and a lot of additions.
So to start, what were some of those standout design trends you noticed as judging chair for the 2020 BALA Awards?
It's interesting that stairs have become an element. People have put a lot of importance upon the stairs. Mm-hmm. I think that they've celebrated them and they've come up with some imaginative ways to do them, whether it's floating stairs or just interesting railings or shapes. I think another trend we saw was the use of windows. I think people are getting a lot more creative. And it's not that they're creating custom windows. I think they're using stock pieces in new ways. So it's not like adding a lot of cost, but it's being creative on how you can use stock windows to add some interest, to get light into the buildings in different ways. The materials, the windows, the shapes, the sizes are all kind of helping to really make the interiors shine. Probably one of the other things we see is the use of wood. I think that we've had such white on white starkness for so long that people want some warmth, and we're seeing a lot of wood used maybe on the exterior, natural wood, or highlighting an entry or interiors. Using it on ceilings and, as I say, the stairs a lot of times. We saw this year a lot of people taking kind of exterior materials and bringing them into the house. You may have a beautiful stone entry wall and then that comes into the house as part of the foyer, and maybe it's the backdrop for the stair or something like that. The other place we see wood being used is on ceilings, just to add interest. I mean, a lot of people say, there's been a trend of more paying attention to ceilings, because I think that, with the trend has been open plans, the trend has been continuous flooring, where you used to use flooring to kind of differentiate spaces. But that tended to have a choppy look to places. So I think people are now doing the flooring the same, but they're using soffits and using ceiling treatments and ceiling heights to kind of differentiate spaces. And those are some of the design trends we saw that really came through on a lot of the entries.
When it comes to the stairs, was there maybe a most common way that you saw those being used or kind of used as a showpiece, or did they vary greatly, depending on the project?
I think it varied greatly depending on the style of the project and the way it was done. I mean, one that was really outstanding was a house in Orlando that I remember that had kind of this big wood block kind of stair that was it was part of the foyer, and it was like a glass front foyer, and the stairs were just a beautiful sculptural element. Stairwells can become like beautiful ways to get light into the house too, because you can, being an open story space, you can skylights and things like that can help, bring light into an interior of the house that you wouldn't expect.
Talking to other architects and also interior designers there's a lot of kind of interest in a bespoke kind of aspect, a craftsmanship and artisan aspect into homes. And would you say that kind of ties into that kind of idea at all?
The other judges and I, when we were really thinking this product or this design was really good, it was the details. It was using materials in a good way and paying attention to the details of how the materials interacted. And it wasn't a matter of just, slapping on wood in one place. It had to be cohesive and work together. And, the contrast of something that's very simplistic with the wood to warm it up, or the stair that was, has a simple backdrop that brought the stair itself to more attention and things.
Were there kind of any others that, just off the top of your head, that maybe stuck out to you?
What was interesting is we saw quite a few homes done in the desert. And I was really impressed by so many of them that, even if it was a spec home, paid attention to how it sat and how it met the landscape, and the use of windows and the orientation of outdoor spaces that took advantage of the distant desert views and, perched on the hill correctly and things. That I saw, like, the builders in that kind of, Arizona, Colorado area, whatever, Phoenix things, seem to really, as spec builders, seem to really respect what they had and take real advantage of it.
I was curious to know maybe if there was ever a time where you were faced with, wow, these are all really beautiful projects, don't really know what to do, but what kind of maybe gave one that edge over another?
I mean, you get a lot of really good entries. I mean, people come in with these beautiful things. So a lot of times it is a very difficult decision. And then I think that, once you get past the, like, wow, this one works, but there was like the one house that we'd picked that we'd given an award to, had kind of an interior layout that made extra sense. So it not only took the windows and the outdoor space, but then you kind of dig deeper into the plan maybe, and what they're doing and how the experience is as you move through the house. Try to imagine how it feels through the pictures and through the floor plans of how the spaces relate to one another and all. And I think that's, the next level, that you're looking at all the aspects of design, not just the pretty views and the pretty pictures, but
when you're kind of reviewing and judging these entrants, was there any kind of trend or design choice you saw that maybe kind of surprised you?
I think that in several of the multifamily, there's certainly an amenity race among multifamily, like how to, blow away your competition with your amenity space versus another. But some of the ones that we're most impressed about that were ones that engaged the public with their amenity space. So not only were they providing a place for their residents, but they were also enhancing the community around them. That was one of the nice things, that a lot of these multifamily buildings are not turning their back on the public now. Something new. That's a fairly new trend I hadn't seen. I've been judging, like the last 2 years I judged, and it came forward much more this year than past.
What should builders' largest takeaways be from viewing these entrants?
A lot of people feel like there's, the judges get, maybe my design isn't modern enough or whatever. But I think that we found some really nice traditional designs that were just done well, with the details paid attention to, that we felt were award winners as well. So I think that they shouldn't be worried that they're doing traditional design, or they're not doing cutting edge things, or clients that are willing to pay them for, super elegant one-off kind of things. That I think builders should realize that if they pay attention to the details, they pay attention to the livability, many styles can still be, worthy of awards and worthy of good recognition. I think that the other thing is that we saw was size. The size of the home doesn't necessarily mean a lot. The judges all made comments that, like, these 2,500 to 3,500 square foot houses were much more interesting and much more, I don't know whether it's award winning, but basically well thought out, versus sometimes when the houses get bigger, it's just, what do you call this room, or what are you creating another room for, and things. So I think the size of a project is another thing that I think when you're doing custom homes and all, is an appreciation for efficiency and appreciation for, challenges of trying to get good livability in smaller spaces.
Anything else that you had noticed through the judging process, comments from other judges that you thought would be good to know?
It seems like people are paying attention and thinking about what type of lighting should be there. There's now multiple types of lighting. I think that the whole lighting industry has gone through a revolution with the LEDs and the abilities of what those can do and where they can fit and controllability. But also, there's a lot of good design in production light fixtures now too. There's a lot of variety and a lot of design that's gone into them instead of, in the past you might have seen some commission custom chandeliers and things, but I think now you're seeing the good design brought forth, kind of the Target effect, Target bringing good design down to affordable levels. I think you're seeing the lighting manufacturers doing the same thing.